Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Comic Book Chronicles. There we go. I am your host, Roddykat, and you can find me at Roddykat on Twitter. You can find me at NewsNotes, Twitter. You can find me at CBCaps on Instagram.
South Carolina with Columbia down the way.
And the sound effects you've heard come from none other than our man in Brooklyn, @agent_70 on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads.
What's up, everybody? Co-hosting from the Borough of Kings. So glad to join you this week, especially right here. I played this song earlier this week because it took me a while to get back to Brooklyn.
No sleep till Brooklyn!
I'm just a kid from Brooklyn.
Oops. Indeed. And you can find this here podcast on the Cold Slither Podcast Network, that's cspn.us.
Do it today.
Indeed, you can also find us on your podcast perusal place of choice, whether it be Google Play, Apple iTunes, aka Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and the Cold Slither Podcast Network SoundCloud page.
Make sure to click like, subscribe, and leave us all the best 5-star reviews, especially on Apple Podcasts, because that helps people find our show.
I should probably honestly check and see if that last one still holds true. But hey, that'll be something for later. But yeah, folks, another day, another show, and we are here, and we are actually gonna skate the ground running or skating and all that good jazz with the one book that we have in common for this week, and that is Iron Man #2.
Iron Man #2 is written by Joshua Williamson with art by Carmen Carnero. Colors are by Nolan Woodard, and letters are by our favorite lettering paisan, VC's Joe Caramagna. We pick up almost essentially where we left off in the last issue, where it seems as though there's a plot to recreate some of the circumstances that made Iron Man what he is today. And to see that plan go forward is, and there's an interesting twist to this where the big bad, at least in this story, seems to have targeted folks who were hand chosen by Tony Stark to kind of be the next generation of scientific talents. And the plot is straightforward, but obviously it's a comic book plot. There are a lot of holes in some of the plotting here, but at the end of the day, I get it. It's an evil villain plot, and we'll see how successful they are, if they even are successful, once Iron Man's able to kind of throw some roadblocks in their way. But yeah, this is an interesting. It's an interesting book. It's an interesting. We revisit a particular relationship that between Tony Stark and Whitney Frost, aka Madame M.A.S.K. And with that, I will hand it off to Roddykat for his thoughts.
Yeah, that is. It's always funny when that stuff like that happens, because we start off the book with a little bit of brief history on those two, and I guess running into their eventual pairing at one point in time, and then going into another another situation where Tony doesn't necessarily have his mind on business, as he's talking with a friend. Some would argue his oldest friend at that, if you know who that may or may not be. But it's it's kind of funny because as I say in my notes, like, you know what, for as smart as Tony is, he can be very stupid sometimes. And I say that because what we find out we find out a little bit of something from the past, or that the previously unseen past that that pretty much comes into the current day shenanigans that AIM is trying to do. They basically, like Hove said, make another Hove. In this case, Tony Stark. And apparently, we found out where that idea actually came from all these many years. So, but we also, as Agent 70 and I talk about, saw, let's just say, probably something you don't even want to see in a nightmare. You don't want to see in any dream of any kind of sort when it comes to a particular rogues gallery or one of Iron Man's rogues gallery.
Right.
The way we see him in this issue. It is funny and also disconcerting at the same time.
Yeah. I've given serious thought at times to buying the Marvel Legend of this particular character. It's been marked down significantly since the character was initially released. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. So, but I've thought about it.
I'm actually kind of surprised you don't have that character, but
I thought about it.
Yeah, but I understand, why and why not, honestly, or a reason why and why not, actually, because I'm sitting like, well, okay, if you're gonna get him, like, who you gonna put him with? Like, is he a part of any group that you already have or already established that you can, make something out of if you're gonna go that route? So, X, Y, and Z. So yeah, it is that. But yeah, that's that Iron Man 2 is was funny for that bit, and also, like I said, the couple of conversations that the couple of other conversations that actually Tony gets into during the course of this, and not just the one that I just mentioned he was kind of stupid for, but at the same time, hey, it's Tony. When he gets in a certain situation, his head is one place. Oh, and also in passing, funnily enough, there is a mention of there's a reference from Test Kitchen, the TEST Kitchen, the Marvel Unlimited Infinity comic that actually we will probably see something referenced in like a week or two. I think it's next week actually when that book comes out. So we will probably see again like next week or something. So I was kind of happy to see that being referenced, even though probably a good 90% of the people who even read this book or anything related probably knows anything about that. So that's just kind of a flyby, because I don't think that like the character from that book has even shown up anywhere outside of that book. But it was still cool. Like I said, also a weird moment where Tony seems to have hands. Now we know he's trained with Cap. But even in that moment was still like, wait a minute now. I without his armor, I don't believe it. This is getting Iron Man 3 territories here. I don't believe it.
Kinda.
So
kinda. I definitely agree with you on that one.
So it's like, all right, now come on now. I appreciate the liberty. Well, I don't. I slightly appreciate the liberty, but no, you're going a little too far with that. So
pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, that was Iron Man 2, and that's actually pretty much the only book that we have in common this week. So I guess we'll run straight on into Rapid Fire.
Alrighty, folks, Rapid Fire review time.
I ain't got time to bleed.
I'm going to go first. I actually don't have a lot of books this week because I did not have an opportunity to read nearly as much as I normally do. So here we go. First up is Absolute Wonder Woman number 17. It's published by DC. It's written by Kelly Thompson with art by Hayden Sherman, colors by Jordi Belair, and letters are by Becca Carey. So in this issue, we get a little bit more information about this version of the Suicide Squad. We also get a little bit more information about this reincarnation. Obviously, it's the absolute version of Zatanna. And we actually get what is depicted on the cover here, which is Wonder Woman versus Giganta. And it's a pretty fun fight that sees Diana pull out some magic to even the playing field. And it's actually a pretty fun issue to read. It's a candidate for Click of the Week for me. Next up is Amazing Spider-Man Venom Death Spiral #1. It's written by Joe Kelly with Al Ewing and Charles Soule. Art is by Jesus Saiz. Colors are by Matt Hollingsworth, and letters again. Actually, no, not again. Letters in this. Actually, yes, again, because we did talk about him already this episode. Letters again are by our favorite lettering paisan, VC's Joe Caramagna. This is the first issue in this event, Death Spiral. And we're really picking up right where the Amazing Spider-Man book left off. And we're picking up with some other characters who are in their current guises and living in very different status quos than what we're used to, right? Because both Venom and Carnage have different host bodies, have different host characters. So if you're not familiar with that, you're going to get familiar with it very quickly in this issue because both characters are explored and their current situations are explored. This is going to be, the Spidey event for the spring, and we'll see, where this takes us. It does very much remind me of Maximum Carnage. Next up and last up for me is The Mortal Thor #7. It's written by Al Ewing with art by Pasquale Ferry, colors by Matt Miller, and letters are by VC's Joe Sabino. So this is definitely a candidate for Click of the Week for me. Sigurd Jarlson is, doing some very superheroic things. We pick up the story pretty much as the action is happening. And Mr. Hyde is, sent by Roxxon to go after Thor, and ultimately there's a lot of really great action sequences that Pasquale Ferry does a great job of showing and telling us the story in some really, really great art. The sequencing here is really good. I would recommend looking at this reading this just for the really great action sequences that are depicted in the issue. And I'm always going to be enjoying Mortal Thor, especially with Al Ewing writing and with Pasquale Ferry doing the art. And that's it for me.
Before I remind you of something, I want to say what's up to Von Gloom in the chat, who says he's here but knackered. Hope to stay awake for the whole time. I understand. If you can't, sir, we understand. Like I said, we know the hours you work, but hey, appreciate you for coming through one way or the other, always. But Agent 70, are you not forgetting a book? Wonder Woman?
No, I did. Absolute Wonder Woman.
Wait, did you?
Yes,
oh yeah,
I
you
did.
You said Giganta. I'm sorry, you did that first. My ordering is wrong, and I wasn't paying attention.
Oh no.
Admittedly, I was doing something at the time, trying to straighten something out. So there was a reason. All right, cool. That being said, then
I was about to say, you're just not used to me having only 4 books to talk about.
Well, also that too, but I honestly had thought you had skipped Wonder Woman, and you had that up first. But which would have set me up for the first book that I'm going to talk about, which is New History of the DC Universe, aka the Dakota Incident #1 one-shot. And this is there's a lot of folks on this book, so buckle up while I read off the creative teams. Act 1 was done by Joseph P. Illich, editor extraordinaire, some would say. Art by Valentine Delandro. Colors by Marissa Louise. Excuse me. Act 2 was done by Stephanie Williams. Pencils by Carlo Pagulin. Excuse me, and Steven Segovia. Inks by Jason Paz. And colors by John Calise. Act 3 was done by Morgan Hampton, art by Fico, I guess it's Fico, Asio, colors by Ulysses Areola, and the prelude and epilogue were written by Nicholas Draver Ivy, art by Edwin Gallman, colors by Andrew Dahlhaus. So, I will no Avant Gloom, yes and no, but we'll get to that in a second. So this particular click of the week for me, if the name of the book makes it sound like it's going to read a certain way, it actually doesn't. Because if you read the new history of the DC Universe, it's pretty much the Cliff Notes version of the DC Universe. This one is more of a story, as a comic story, but also, it's kind of like almost like an anniversary story where there's a framing story and then there's the going into it, or also like one of those Marvel Timeless books, because actually it probably reads more like that than not. I don't know if Agent 70 is going to plan to read this or not, but the Cliff Notes version is we do follow one person who, so the person that we end up following is called Beacon. I'm not entirely sure if I've read where this person comes from, but it is a Milestone character. They are related to, so Von Gloom in the track in the chat asks if a Rocket or Static are now related, and still technically no, because Beacon is Rocket's child. Static is only Beacon's mentor. So Static has his own family in this particular in this case. And I believe this is kind of in the future. Not necessarily, well, I guess it is. It's not necessarily in the same, it is the same future as that Batman Beyond Static book, but maybe a little before or after this. So regardless, Beacon's on the mission, handling one of Static's old light work when some temporal stuff happens, which sends him into a trip in the past. And of course, that's where we get a slight recounting of the Dakota incident and its ties to the DC universe, basically. And some of it, you can, and I know I say this a few different times, and I will probably say it again later on when I talk about a book, but there is a little bit of real world leaning dialogue / actions seemingly happening in this book. Like I said, that is pretty much, we see some folks kind of come and go or come into the book and play a part in it that are from the DC side, or more known in the DC side, I guess you're saying. And then of course we do see some folks under the Milestone side as well in here. It's kind of weird because there's only a couple of people on the Milestone side. Well, we see a few people on the Milestone side, but there's almost seems like the DC people are kind of a little bit more prominent, but that's not necessarily the case. But like I said, because they're trying to tie them together, you do see them a little bit more. That being said, it was a good read. It feels like it is an alternate timeline. In fact, I'm almost fairly certain it is because of a couple of things that is the case. But also, it ends weird because, and I say it ends weird because the way it ended, it feels like there should be another book coming after this to say, okay, so what happened after that? But I'm thinking they're basically doing okay, so here's where things kind of start getting back into kind of folding into play, but in a way that's okay, well, we just see the spark of it as is mentioned in it, but we don't see what actually happens, which, like I said, I don't know, it's to me it's kind of weird. I don't think it I think part of it is it's a good read. Like I said, I don't want to dismiss that, but it's the ending to me is kind of weird, or maybe I'm missing something. I think that's might be the case. I don't know, because from going to how this is presented to kind of it getting folded back into how, everything the DC universe is the way it's all in now, then still kind of weird to me. But we shall we shall see. I don't think there's anything else that's going to come of it. It's just that, hey, here you go. Here's the tie. Next up, though, we get into a little bit. Black Panther Intergalactic #3, written by Victor Lavelle, art by Stefano Nessi, color artist Brian Valenza, and letters by VC's Ariana Maher. I was about to say Ariana Grande, and that would have been not true. So I know Agent 70 may actually probably read this after a while, because I know he read up to it, but still, T'Challa's still kind of in the same places where he is, on some weird planet, being facing off with some familiar looking imposters, robotic imposters, I believe they are, some of which you may have seen in the Spider Corner, a couple of mutants here and there, and some other folks. While he tries to deal with what's going on, and all while the Empire at large is watching, as fake T'Challa is kind of trying to take his spot, basically. And so, and a couple other people that are showing up in here, like Shuri and M'Baku, are kind of doing things on their end, some of which may come into play in the next issue. And we shall see. Next up, The Ultimates, #21. Written by Dennis Camp, art by Perry Perez, color artist Federico Blee, and letters by VC's Travis Lanham. So I'm not going to spoil this because I know he definitely knows Agent was going to read this one. We do get to see, I want to say, the cover of the Ultimates Handbook, and I would assume to be some written passages throughout this. That's pretty much the only spoiler I will say outside of the fact that if you see who's on the cover, then you can see who's who they're kind of following. So we get to see basically what they're doing on the outside of the dome, basically. Who's doing what on the outside of the dome. And there's some folks there but don't have the names that you know them as, that show up in this, I would say. And some things happen. Like I said, I don't want to get away, and I don't want Agent 70 to look at my notes. But also, I will say that another opposing group comes into play with a familiar name that has a known Roxxon associate that might give somebody pause. Let's just say, and that would be that dude right there. Not the dude on the cover, but the dude on the other side of the cover. But yeah, if you're watching the video version. Next up, we have Sorcerer Supreme #3. Did I actually not get that one? No, there it is. Sorry, folks. Written by Steve Orlando, art by Bernard Chang, color artist Ruth Redmond, and letters by VC's Joe Zabino, excuse me. So, this is a continuing, the continuing adventures of Wanda as the Sorcerer Supreme, getting, basically getting beset by her possibly ex-friend, Agatha Harkness, but Agatha has decided to, delegate responsibilities. If you are watching the video version and you see the cover, then one of those people is the one that is the one that's being charged of doing all the work. And let's just say Wanda has a prior engagement in a place. Boom, boom. Meanwhile, Wong has tea with Chitan, and while like I said, Wanda kind of handles the fires outside of things, and it ends up going into what's probably at this point round 3 of Wanda's fight against Agatha. But we also get to see some very close people to Wanda as it takes a moment to kind of get some has a chat with some folks close to her, and it's good to see them all together again, and it's cool. Next up is Void Rivals #27, Written by Robert Kirkman, art by Andre Bresson, colors by Patricio Delpeche, letters by Russ Wooton. So this is the part 3 of 6 of the Quintesson War. The Sharktacon is still running amok. Salilla and Derek are back together again, and their androids, as they try to figure out how to deal with the invaders in their midst. And a plan is hatched, while the Quintessons in their usual way basically are very, very confident in things going on, but also pretty much stating what's about to happen in the next couple of issues, or in the next issue specifically. But also we have a person of note from the Cobra La contingent invading the Quintesson ship and getting a little bit of troubles themselves as we, like I said, go into the end of this, not the end of this book, but the end of this issue with, like I said, a plan being enacted, by the folks, and the tide be turning, let's just say, and we'll see how that works out for them next issue. Next up, actually, I'm gonna skip that one and go to DuckTales. Woo! Written by Brandon Montclair, art by Tomas Ronda, colors by Agnes Eterno, and letters by Fabio Amelia. So again, we got another adventure with Uncle Scrooge and the boys. They're in the Klondikes, or the Klondike, however you say it. And the boys seem to think that Uncle Scrooge has lost his mind because he's playing in the snow like he's swimming in his money bin before getting into business, with some lost gold and a certain howling, presumable wind that ends up not being wind that they end up dealing with in the course of this. But it's just another one and done-ish tales of of the ducks getting into adventure as they tend to do. Last but not least is Star Trek Deviations, The Threads of Destiny, one shot. Written by Stephanie Williams, art by Gregory Maldonado, inks by Anthony Fowler Jr., colors by Charlie Kirchhoff, and letters by Jody Troutman. So we've talked about this in the news in the past. So this is basically the one shot where Uhuru ends up going into the past, and of course she ends up just in time, for the Civil Rights era Earth, where she ends up landing. I think actually she might have landed around a similar time frame that Kirk, Spock, and McCoy did in that one episode. The city. Wait, is it the city on the edge of the world? The one they end up going back in time and killing off Liz Taylor. But yeah, so like I said, Uhuru ends up going back. She gets a little bit of info. As a matter of fact, she meets some notable figures of the civil rights movement, including one specific one, which is, I say in my notes, meets his idol again, because if you have heard the history of how Star Trek came about, we know said notable figure, wanted Nichelle Nichols to stay on the show because of being a fan. So it's kind of interesting how that works out. But yeah, it's a pretty good story. It does. I know some people are probably going to look at this book and be like, "Oh, it's preachy, oh, it's woke, whatever the case may be." I'm like, "No, this has been Star Trek forever and a day. So you're being stupid." But those people are stupid anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if anything of what I just said is of interest to you, should check it out. Of course, Kirk and Spock kind of show up and at the time, but it's mostly focused on Uhuru and what she gets into when she falls into civil rights era Earth. And there you go. We also actually, we find out about, as far as I know, a lesser known but still notable figure in the civil rights movement. I don't think I knew about this person, but this kind of gave me, gave me reason to kind of find out a little bit more about this person. So that was a good thing as well. And that, folks, is it for me. Kliqs of the week.
Kliqs of the week.
Do you have your potential?
I have my candidates.
Oh,
I have my candidates. I have two candidates. Of the 4 books that I read this week, Absolute Wonder Woman number 17 and The Mortal Thor number 7. Those are my 2 candidates. Really, really strong issues. Really, stand out. Even if I had more to pick from, these 2 would probably be near the very top of my candidate list. How about you?
For me, Star Trek Deviations, The Threads of Destiny is one of them. The other one is Ultimates, because Ultimates is usually a pretty great read, and that holds up in this case. And I thought I had another one in here. It's probably not going to make the cut, but New History of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident, was a good read, so I think folks should definitely check that out. But it's not necessarily a candidate. Just saying, check it out. It's pretty good. Void Rivals, actually, you know what? Yes, Void Rivals is definitely on that, because that was a pretty fun read for what that is. But those are my potentials. Do you have your pick?
I'm still making a choice.
Okay.
I'm still making a choice. I'm actually going back and reviewing the books to help me make my choice. How about you? Are you there yet?
It's either going to be Star Trek or Ultimates. If I'm being honest. And I'm very much leaning towards Ultimates, honestly. Like I said, no shortage to the other book at all. Shout out to Iron Man 2 for such a grim vision, a grim panel. Also, we don't want to see it. We don't even see that character like that ever again. Thank you.
Right.
But yeah, let me just go ahead and find the book.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight match for me.
Yeah, same here.
Like in terms of the books that I've read, I think that in a very tight race, I'm gonna go with The Mortal Thor number 7. Slight upset, but I really like this week's this month's issue of Absolute Wonder Woman number 17. I just think I'm gonna go with The Mortal Thor number 7 this week by the hair, the hair on the chin of Thor in this issue.
Indeed, and I am indeed going to go with the Ultimates number 21. Like I said, definitely check out that Star Trek book if you are a Star Trek fan. If you want to get a little bit of history, both are viable. Both are viable. That being the case, we are going to go into the news section, but first, an ad read.
Alrighty, our first ad read of the night is for Wink, your personalized wine club. Wink is a world of wine delivered right to your door. From rosé to Cabernet to Torronté, Wink has over 100 styles of wine to discover. Ever try an orange wine? Wink connects you to a world of exclusive wines tailored to your taste and delivered directly to your door. Wink delivers 4 bottles of wine to you every month with free shipping. You can pick your own bottles or let Wink choose and match to your taste. It doesn't cost a thing to become a member, and you can skip or cancel any time. And now the listeners of the Comic Book Chronicles can enjoy an exclusive discount of $20 off your first order. To place your first order with $20 off and to help keep our show free for you, go to our network website at cspn.us/wink. That's cspn.us/WINC. Wink Wines through CSPN. Do it today. And now we get into the news.
Cinematic news, as we do about this time, as I actually forget to flip over that. There we go. Starting off with a little bit of a report / rumor news here in the form of two beloved MCU heroes, according to this article, will cameo in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Let's see. Again, this is a rumor, and apparently it's just some rumor for somebody on Twitter or wherever this is. Kate Bishop and Kamala Khan will both have a cameo in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, given what we kind of know, I can kind of see it. But at the same time, it is just a rumor. Take it as it is, and like if that does happen, I can see him like Kamala coming in at the end, be like, "Hey, you want to join up with our Young Avengers squad or whatever the case may be," like she did with Kate Bishop at the end of Hawkeye. Could see it. I doubt it, but could see it. Because Spidey was never a part of that. But this is the MCU. Anything, they can always change that. Next up, though. Indeed.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 2 moves up to an August 2027 release. So the movie is going to be heading to theaters. This sequel is going back a little earlier than expected. So Paramount has officially shifted the release date for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 2 to August 13th, 2027. The sequel was originally set to hit theaters September 17th, that is, 2027. So that's a solid vote of confidence in the franchise, and it shows Paramount isn't slowing down when it comes to its TMNT plans. Okay.
Yeah, not the only time we're going to hear about the Turtles in the news also. Ryan Coogler's The X-Files reboot lands Hulu pilot order with Danielle Deadwyler set to star. So apparently, as according to this article, after 3 years of development, reports, and behind-the-scenes momentum, this new chapter of the iconic sci-fi franchise is finally moving forward. So let's see. I don't know if we have any other news outside of. Let's see. The showrunner has been found, and their name is Jennifer Yale, not Hale, Yale. And of course, Ryan Coogler and most likely his wife are behind it producing. Yep, I was right. So Yale will executive produce and run the show, joining original series creator Chris Carter, along with Coogler, Sav Ohanian, and Zinzi Coogler under the Proximity Media banner. Simone Harris will serve as co-executive producer. And, they go through who's doing casting and all that. So who's apparently has worked on Sinners. So there you go. But yeah, the pilot order is out there, and whether we'll see it at some point, I'm not sure, because it doesn't say here, because it's just a pilot order. Sometimes you don't see it, sometimes you do. Next up.
The classic PBS children's show Reading Rainbow is officially back, with the series securing a 24-episode pickup. Sony Pictures Television and Buffalo Toronto Public Media announced the pickup Monday. Michael Threets, known as Michael the Librarian on social media, will return as host, with Sesame Street and Ms. Rachel veteran Kristen McGregor joining the show as executive producer and showrunner. The show was revived last year with 4 digital episodes, 20 years after the original incarnation, hosted by LeVar Burton, signed off the air. As a series for the Sony-owned YouTube channel Kud Zuko, garnering some 4.8 million views. Kudzuko will continue We'll continue to get exclusive shortened episodes of the show. SPT is taking it to market, seeking to sell the 24-episode season to a TV network or streaming service. The company says talks are already underway. Okay.
Which is kind of sad when PBS is right there and where it should be, but we know how there are things going on,
Right.
there with outside forces. So
take a look. It's in a book.
Indeed. Yeah, I need to check out that because I've seen people talking about it. And it's like, yeah, this is, and that dude, from what I've seen that dude on Twitter and whatnot, I was like, you know what, he's pure. So he's seemingly pure. So it's in good hands. Next up, the women of K-pop demon hunters on overcoming rejection, Golden's success and breaking boundaries for Korean culture. I'm not going to go through too much of this article, but yeah. This article was done after the Critics' Choice Awards and the couple of awards that they got there, that the feature got there, and for Best Animated Feature and for the song Golden. According to this, it marks the first big award win of the season for the Netflix blockbuster, and from what I understand, there's more coming from what I've been reading. So. Say Ray Ami, the singing voice for the film's Zoe, describes the feeling as vindicating, adding that there's finally, quote, validation. It's long overdue, she says. We worked our asses off. We've had the door shut in our faces. We were told we were too little, too much, according to this quote from her. So, and there's, if you're watching the video version, you can see the variety cover. With all the women there, and you can check out the article for yourself in the show notes, along with the interview that is in there. Next up,
right, this is a remarkable story. Interviewing both the actresses who do the speaking and the singing. So you have 6 total. People that are being interviewed for this. That's pretty cool that they're able to get all of them together and to speak to them. And in a follow-up to this, K-pop Demon Hunters has entered the Criterion collection because we needed that physical copy, that hard copy. And the movie's going to get a high-end physical media release from Criterion at some point in the future. Let's see. There's no exact date. Let's see if there's any more information on this. Yeah, there's no definitive date, but they did announce that Criterion would be adding it to the collection and would be putting out a physical media release of the movie. So I'm looking forward to that. I'd like to own that on physical media.
Sure, same. Also, who will we see pick up this movie when they go to the Criterion closet on one of those videos that they do? We know it'll probably be Age of 70 if that ever happens, but who else would be the one picking it up? Also, I would love to see if there's an actual closet that they do that in, which is kind of funny. But next up, we get into a little bit of manga news with Manga Mavericks announces North American and European distribution deals. So it says here that the U.S.-based independent manga publisher has signed with Pathway Book Service for North American distribution and Gazelle Book Services Limited for European distribution. The quote, these distribution partnerships represent a key step into the growth of Manga Mavericks books and will bring our catalog to a wide range of new readers, said CEO Varun Gupta. So 2026 will be another big year for us with the debut of scores of new manga titles and license deals. This includes indie, classic shoujo, and LGBTQIA+ works from both rising and long-established Japanese creators, many of whom have never had their work released in the English market. So, cool. And And it just goes on to here, to talk a little bit about manga Mavericks. So there you go. Next up, we get into, actually, we'll just go ahead and say comic book news.
Okay, I've got some manga stuff here still.
I mean, that is, yes, it is a manga, but like I said, go for it.
Cyberpunk Edge Runner's Madness. So this is published by Dark Horse Manga. It's a $14.99 trade paperback. It's a prequel to the anime Cyberpunk Edge Runners by Stybor and Asano. And I'm looking for when this is going to come out.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's out now.
Yeah.
It's out now. You can buy this now, the Dark Horse manga, for $14.99.
And I know people like Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I have not had a chance to watch the show or actually play the game that they're both based off of, but I hear good things. So I assume it's more of that. Now we get into a little bit of comic book, or a little bit of comic book news with comic creators unite for superheroes for Minnesota charity auction. So let's see. There was, so this is actually late. The silent action was at the time of this article in preview mode. The bidding had started on February the 20th. And has already closed this past Monday, actually. So I probably should have taken this off of there. Should I have seen this? But just know that, hey, there was a thing that was a thing that was for a thing. That is no longer a thing. But I'm sure you can still, if not place bids, you can definitely still support. So, actually, let me see something here. The auction featured donations from industry vets like Bill Sikovich, Fabian Nishizia, the Hildebrand Estate, along with David Nakayama, David Talaski, Greg Stegmeyer, Leah Williams, Eric Schultz, and a few other folks. Let's see. Voice actors from X-Men 97, Star Wars Rebels, and Fallout have contributed items, as have creators connected to X-Men the Animated Series and X-Men 97, according to this article. Letterer Janice Chiang and Ariana Mara also offered their services as a part of the fundraiser. So let's see. Darryl Lawrence, who was the lead for Superheroes for Minnesota Initiative, shared his motivation for launching the effect. And I'll say a little bit of the quote here. It says, when confronted with a sizable challenge to how the world can and should work, and frankly, the horrors of what is being visited upon my home state, my immediate reaction was to find a way that I could help. I was so inspired by the publishing for Minnesota auction, and I knew the comics and fandom communities could do something along the lines. They just needed a nudge. So, and then it goes on from there as to how that started off. So good on them. Good on them. Also, fuck ICE. Next up.
Alrighty. Kelly Sue DeConnick. Hold on, let me get this open. Kelly Sue DeConnick, Sam Humphries, Natasha Bustos, and Josh Reed Darkslide with sci-fi skate punk series called Skate Alley or Alley. The exclusive reveal here of Skate Alley or Ollie. New 5-issue comic series from Kelly Sue DeConnick, Sam Humphries, Natasha Bustos, and Dark Horse Comics. Skate Alley is a high-octane, genre-smashing sci-fi skate punk saga about friendship, rebellion, and finding yourself in the world wants to knock you down, written by DeConnick and Humphries, illustrated by Bustos, and lettered by Josh Reed. This book, Skate Alley #1, will be available June 2026 and will feature cover art by Natasha Bustos, Joe Quinones, Sweeney Boo, Emma Rios, and Jamie McKelvey. I really would like to know if they pronounce it Skate Alley or Skate Alley. It's probably Skate Alley.
I'm presuming Alley, but also when I first saw this, I thought about the old television show Kate and Alley, and I thought Skating Alley. And I can't stop thinking about that. So I don't know if that was on purpose or not. But hey, it'll be on shelves June 10th, 2026, $4.99, and it's I think Agent 70 has said it's a 5-issue limited series.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Viola Davis. Where is it going wrong? Viola Davis is tackling an adaptation of an Afro-Fantasy graphic novel called The Untamed. Let's see, her and her partner at JuVee Productions, Julius Tennon, will produce the fantasy revenge epic alongside Homeworld Entertainment and Stranger Comics. So I'm going to assume it is in that world of the Stranger Comics fiction. So let's see, JuVee has teamed up with Simon Swart and Andrew Cosby of the Homeworld Entertainment to tackle an adaptation of the revenge fantasy indie franchise created by Sebastian A. Jones. Jones, who has been running the fantasy franchise for the last 10 years via his Stranger Comics, will outline the script and direct the adaptation. And the names I formerly mentioned will be the producers on the project. So, and the article goes into what the Untamed is about, which is basically follows a character known as a stranger who returns to the lawless town of Oasis. And it goes on from there with an unholy deal and some other things. Like I said, you can read it in the article for yourself because it seems kind of interesting, but I don't think I've read this. I don't think I've seen this book, so we don't get Stranger Comics books, I don't think. Next up, though.
Next up, we have a first look at a book titled Neighborhood Watch #1. This is written by Hugo Award-winning writer Sarah Gailey and fan favorite artist Haining. Okay. So this is a first look. Don't have any information on when this is coming out, but look for it soon because this is a pretty extensive first look, so it's likely going to be in June, in May or June book, May or June solicitations, that is.
Which, thank you for the reminder of folks who are watching the video version or come into the audio section. You can check the show notes for the May solicitations, which are all out there at this point. So you can check out this and some other stuff. That's coming out in May. Next up, M.A.S.K announces Dog Tag, which is a book from Mark Russell and artist P.J. Holden, which brings a human World War I series about truth, survival, and the cost of witnessing history up close. It is a 6-issue war series with colors by J.P. Jordan and lettering by Buddy Bedoin. Again, from M.A.S.K. Let's see. It is inspired by real events from the final year of World War II. The series follows a soldier journalist in line as the line between witnessing war and surviving it disappears. It's going to have variant covers and such. And like I said, looks like a release date is going to be May 6th for the first issue. Next up.
Alrighty, next up is Ben 10 returns to comics this May with a new series from the original creators. Get this open. And the original creators of Ben 10 return this May with a bold new comic series that reboots the origin and expands the alien-powered adventure for a new generation. So let's see here. The series opens with an arc written by Joe Casey and illustrated by Robert Carey. Let's see. This is being published by Dynamite. And I'm looking for pricing. Big 10 #1 arrives May 6th with a lineup of variant covers because it is, of course, a #1 issue.
Indeed. And yeah, shout out to Man of Action, which is maybe a name some folks, if you watch the credits of a bunch of shows in the past couple of decades, you may or may not know. but definitely some of the people that are in Man of Action are names you would know, including the aforementioned Joe Casey and Joe Kelly. So there you go. Next up, though, Marvel unveils massive Masters of the Universe publishing program ahead of the theatrical film, and this will not be the only time we will be talking about Masters of the Universe. But after an announcement of a comic tie-in to the upcoming Masters of the Universe film from Dark Horse, Mattel unveiled the details for an expansive publishing program. As I just said, there's going to be scroll. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books from what I'm seeing here so far. Let's see, there's a junior novel. There's actually 6. A couple of storybooks. A book on Tila. There's an art book for the film, which will be coming out, and we have dates for some of this stuff starting from May and going into September. There is the Masters of the Universe Wings of Fate book, which you see the cover of right there, written by Tim Sheridan and illustrated by Will Sliney. And then there's actually some more stuff. Masters of the Universe Legends of Eternia, which is a manga-style graphic novel set in the film universe that is coming in November. Coloring books. A Skeletor picture book called Skeletor Has No Friends. So there you go for that. And of course, another Skeletor book, Skeletor Ate My Homework. The Adventures of He-Man and Porter. So I guess both of those last two are humorous books. But yeah, so stuff is coming. Actually, it's even more than that. Yeah, so you can see. No, those are just covers for the stuff that I just mentioned. But yeah, a big He-Man push is coming because of that movie. So, and there you go, including some of the thing we'll talk about later, which is kind of slightly coincidentally timed with this, or not. Next up, though,
Dark Horse Books and Hasbro's Wizards of the Coast division presents the Dungeons & Dragons Animated Adventures Library Edition. The new deluxe hardcover collects all 3 of IDW's Saturday Morning Adventure series, written by David Boer and Sam Maggs. Let's see here. Dungeons & Dragons Animated Adventures Library Edition will be available August 4th, 2026 in bookstores and comic shops, and is now available for pre-order for $49.99.
Mm-hmm. I remember reading those, and why they said 3. I feel like I only remember reading 2 of them. So either I missed one, or I'm blanking on the other one that came out that I read, because I did remember reading those when they came out. Good stuff. And of course, the show is probably out there on Tubi or something else. So unless you are silly like me and have the physical version. Next up, though, a new Power Rangers series will officially reveal the franchise's final Ranger. And I'm fairly certain if you're a Power Rangers fan of a certain vintage, you know who that person is. It's not that hard to tell, honestly. So let's see. And this, of course, comes from Boom Studios. And they have that's not the only Power Rangers comic books that are coming this spring. So there's one called Power Rangers Green, which is a new story starring a familiar face, according to this article, which you know who that face is. Come on, don't act like you don't know. But we don't have much in the way of details on it, but sounds like that is the person who is going to be the final Ranger. No other details from it so far, so I'm sure when those details happen, we will talk about that. Next up.
All right, next up, Hello Kitty is getting her own comic universe, and it starts this July via IDW. IDW Publishing has teamed up with Sanrio to bring Hello Kitty and Friends to comic shops in a brand new ongoing series aimed at readers of every age. The partnership introduces a fresh wave of Hello Kitty stories that embrace the character's legacy of friendship, kindness, and joy. The first title, Hello Kitty, Hello World, launches July 22nd, 2026, the same week as San Diego Comic-Con. Um, okay, we don't have pricing, but it's probably, you know, it's a number one issue, so um, it might be a little bit higher than your standard everyday book.
Yeah, probably. And maybe they'll mention the fact that apparently Hello Kitty is not a damn cat.
Right.
That's weird. Next up, though, Dynamite announces Aladdin comics and Lilo and Stitch graphic novel. Yes, folks, Disney's Aladdin, by the way, if that wasn't clear. So, because they've been doing Disney books for for a good minute, because we've talked about a few of them. I haven't talked about the Stitch book, but that's because I haven't read it. And never going to probably. But not saying anything like those characters, but hey. But first up is the return to Agrabah in the new Aladdin comic series this May from the creative team of James III and artist Agnes Eterno. Much like the 90s animated series, this comic series will chronicle the adventures of Aladdin and his friends after the first film. It doesn't look like Iago will be of the supporting cast, which, yeah. I'm sure there's a reason why they put that detail in there. But as fans know, Iago became one of the good guys in Return of Jafar. There you go. So, yeah. Yeah, that is that. I don't see... wait, let me scroll down a little bit, see if I can see a date for the Aladdin thing. There's variant covers. Says May. But yeah, there's also the Stitch book, Top Secret Adventures, which is the first of a series of silly original graphic novels Dakota into this book, according to this article. And the Top Secret Adventures is told from the perspective of the characters from Disney's Lilo and Stitch. Lilo dictates the story, and her blue furred friend handles the illustration duties. Behind the scenes, critically acclaimed and fan favorite writer and artist Jeff Parker pulls double duty, imitating this adorable style that will connect with kids. So there you go. And there's details on some of the stuff, or this book as well as some pages from it. So there you go. Next up.
What are we on here? Jonathan Hickman.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Hickman's 3 Worlds, 3 Moons comes to Dark Horse this July. This summer, Jonathan Hickman's sprawling science fiction epic 3 Worlds, 3 Moons makes the leap from digital to print at Dark Horse Comics. Originally launched online at 3w3m.com, the ambitious shared universe will arrive in comic shops and bookstores beginning July 2026. Created by Jonathan Hickman, Mike Del Mundo, Mike Huddleston, and Nick Spencer, 3 Worlds, 3 Moons spans comics, graphic novels, and additional multimedia storytelling. The first print release will be Foundations, 32-page one-shot written by Hickman and Spencer, illustrated by Del Mundo and Huddleston, and lettered by Russ Wooton. The issue sets the stage for the larger sci-fi saga and will be presented in a prestige magazine-sized format and will go on sale July 8th. Cool.
So that means we probably have to check it out and see how much mumbo jumbo's in it, because we know after his time on Ultimate Spider-Man, where he didn't get a chance to put a whole lot of mumbo jumbo in it, he's probably itching to to do some.
Sure, and listen, and with Mike Del Mundo with art on this, it looks like here that the one shot is going to be on sale for $6.99, available in comic shops on July 8th.
Of course.
So yeah, with the Del Mundo, Del Mundo's art, which always skews towards exaggerate, like it's very cool, and I can see how his art style would be conducive to something, a little bit of the sci-fi type.
Yeah,
so
it fit. It seemed like it might fit.
Good fit. Yeah, it sounds like a good fit.
Mm-hmm. Next up, though, Robert Kirkman and Cory Walker reunite to debut all-new Invincible Universe character Elemental. So, and apparently this is taking place in a series of new backups appearing in Capes number 7, 7 through 12. Issue 4 of Capes just came out this week, so that should give you some time frame of when you'll see it. But also, actually, there's some news that I'm glad got put in here as well, because I don't think I put it in here. So yeah, Elemental will make her debut. That's right. That's where this character is going to be. So Elemental will make her debut in the upcoming Invincible versus video game. American rapper and singer Tierra Whack, who I believe is voicing the character, and that fighting game is going to be launching, as we just found out recently, April 30th, from Skybound in its in-house games development studio Quarter Up. So therein lies you see the tie, folks. From what I saw about that fighting game, it looks pretty good. I did not get a chance to get in on the beta for it, but hey, it's coming out pretty soon, so check it out when that happens. And it's going to be on consoles, and I believe it's on consoles and PC, but I know it's definitely going to be on PC and PS5 for certain. So, but yeah, this is like Capes number 7 is going to be out May 27th of this year. So there you go. And that's where the backup story is going to kind of come up with her. Next up.
I can't seem to open this article, so I'm going to read from the notes. Announced during Robert Kirkman's keynote at Comics Pro, Skybound and Image Comics revealed Terminal, a new superhero series launching this summer with a powerhouse creative lineup. The series is co-written by Robert Kirkman and Joe Casey, with art by Andy Kubert, David Finch, and Arthur Adams. Colors by Dave McCaig and letters by Russ Wooton. Terminal also marks Kirkman's first return to superhero comics since Invincible. The debut issue arrives in comic shops on July 22nd, 2026.
Okay. I don't know why that didn't happen. Maybe, I don't know, but we try to get in a second. Either way, it doesn't matter, because you hit the finer points. So yeah. Wait, do we have? There we go. You can see the cover right there, and a variant cover. It's like a connecting one, and some variants right there. Some unlettered pages. So if any of that is of interest to you, hey, you can check that out when it comes out. Next up, oh yes, some other notable news, as what we talked about from something we talked about last week. There's now been confirmed. Robert Kirkman's Skybound unveils M.A.S.K book. M.A.S.K.
M.A.S.K.
There you go. Dan Waters is writing the book, and it will be drawn by Pi Par. I guess I'm pronouncing that name right. Oops, excuse me. There we go. So, again, we saw the seeds being sown in the pages of G.I. Joe, and we felt it coming. We just didn't know for certain. We even asked the question last week, and now we have been answered. So. And this book, this article kind of goes into, the tidbits that we have seen leading up to this number one, when things are gonna get going. And there's a cover for M.A.S.K number one, and a couple of unlettered pages, variants, covers also, and there you go. So yeah, looking forward to this. It also says that readers will be able to get a first look at M.A.S.K in the Energon Universe Special 2026, of course. Free Comic Book Day issue releasing May 2nd. The special issue will include all news stories from Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Void Rivals. So there you go. Next up, though.
Sonic the Hedgehog and his friends are about to face the biggest threat of their lives. IGN can exclusively reveal Sonic the Hedgehog X Godzilla. Good God. A new crossover miniseries that sees Godzilla dragged into Sonic's world. Goodness gracious. Mm-hmm. Sonic the Hedgehog X Godzilla is written by Nick Marino and drawn by Jack Lawrence, with colors by Reggie Graham. preview to issue number 1 in this article. I'm looking for publishing date and price. Sonic the Hedgehog X Godzilla number 1 will be released in summer 2026. You can pre-order it now.
Mm-hmm. And if you thought that was the only bit of Sonic crossover news that you were going to get this week, oh no, my friends. We also have the reuniting of Sonic and his friends and the Justice League in Metal Legion, which is going to be this May. In fact, it's a new 5-issue crossover beginning May 5th of this year. As folks may or may not know, there was a DC Sonic the Hedgehog crossover that I talked about sometime last year, actually, now that I think about it. You know, and that was, and I may have also said at the end of that, like, yep, it seems like they're setting up a sequel to this, and here it is. Ian Flynn, who is returning to write the series, quotes and said, "I had an absolute blast the last time. I'm really happy that the tease we left at the end of the first crossover is finally coming to fruition. I hope everyone enjoys the second go around as much as I did writing it. The debut issue will feature a main cover by Pablo and Kohler, with variant covers by Adam Bryce, Thomas, Serge Acuna, Min-Ho Kim. It's 32 pages. Wait, who is doing the art? Adam Bryce Thomas is doing the art, the interior art. Also, the 32-page first issue arrives May 5th, like I said, priced at $3.99, with card start variants available for $4.99. And of course, there are some unlettered preview pages in this article if you want to check that out. Next up,
in news from Comics Pro, DC Vertigo continues its 2026 rollout with a couple of new with some new books. We get the return of 100 Bullets and new series 100 with the new series 100 Bullets, The U.S. of Anger, as well as Fanatic, followed in autumn by Necretaceous and Black Tower, The Raven Conspiracy, and then in winter 2026 we get The Crying Doll and A Walking Shadow, rounding out the imprint, the Vertigo imprint's first full year of its return. The DC Absolute Universe is set to expand with Green Arrow and Catwoman, plus a tease of the first Absolute event miniseries. So, Absolute Green Arrow is going to be by Pornsak Pinchot, who did The Good Asian, and Raphael Albuquerque, coming May 20th. And Absolute Catwoman by Che Grayson, Scott Snyder, and Bengal, launching June 10th. Okay, and DC Next Level reveals Teen Titans and more for summer 2026. Look at these jerk faces. In Teen Titans, Red Hood uncovers a network of missing powered teens and reluctantly joins forces with a new generation of plugged-in, hyper-capable young heroes to find them and expose the lie dividing their world. They also showed a sneak peek of... that's the characters in the team roster. A bunch of jagoffs. And a couple of new number ones coming out this year. Lobo number 1, Batwoman number 1, and Deathstroke the Terminator number 1 will all launch on March 18th, followed by the Fury of Firestorm number 1 on April the 8th, and Zatanna number 1 on April the 29th. Cool.
and there's also the Barbara Gordon breakout book by Mariko Tamaki and M.A.K. Nhupan in May.
Oh, okay, that's another book, right? So yeah, there's no specific date on that, but that's in May.
Right, and also a Dead Man book by W. Maxwell Prince and Martin Marazzo. Also
in June.
Yes. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Actually, wait. There's is that another thing? Oh yeah, there's a Batman event coming in Q3. I think called Bad Seeds, which is going to deal with what's going on, the current stuff going on. I assume with the people around there, which I know Age of 70 has been kind of plugged into. But yeah, more on that later, I think. Next up, though, DC will end a very popular Absolute Universe book, and Scott Snyder explains why. The book in question is Absolute Manhunter, which is going to end at number 12, which I believe 9 just came out this week. If I'm not mistaken. I think there was one that came out this week. But, let's see. Artist Javier Rodriguez took to X, aka Twitter, for those of us who, Mama gonna call him Clay, to reveal the gorgeous cover for Absolute Manhunter number 12. But in his tweet about the book, Rodriguez revealed to a stunned readership that it would be or last issue, and fans went nuts according to this article. So, let's see, scroll. One of the things fans of DC. Oh, so yeah, folks wanted to know why, and apparently, Dennis Camp also took to social media with an explanation. He elaborated, which now that I think now what he said makes sense, because he did say he was. I saw where he said he was putting in a final script for something, but he wasn't sure. But he didn't say what, and I'm assuming that is this. But he says he elaborated that we had a real fear of being able to keep up the originality of the storytelling, Camp said. I said his exact words were, if we had continued, I worried we'd fizzle out, lose some of the magic. Right now, I feel that every issue of this book is special. I didn't want to jeopardize that. So part of it is a relief. And if we come back sometime later in the future, we'll have worked out something worthy, according to Camp's tweet. So, and I guess that this video, maybe Scott Snyder saying also something else about it. So there you go. Next up.
Alrighty, more than one Robin will arrive in Gotham in Absolute Batman number 20. We're going to be talking a little bit about spoilers for recent events of Absolute Batman. So DC teased readers with a redacted cover and solicitation text for Absolute Batman number 20, the May shipping issue of Absolute Batman. The cover features Batman standing in front of something that appears to be in the shape of giant letter R. Okay. So apparently, in solicitations, the image was unredacted. That indicates more than one Robin will be coming to Absolute Batman. Okay.
That R couldn't possibly be in conjunction with Arkham, could it?
Who knows?
Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, yeah, that's the thing. I haven't been reading that, but I know Age of 70 is. So there you go. Next up, though, DC Comics to launch all pin personal decoration merchandise line. Yes, this article is slightly out of order, but that's fine. We'll be fine. So yeah, the all pin merchandise will feature, I mean, it's in order, but I should have put it someplace else. Will feature characters from DC All In, Absolute, and Next Level series. Pins are set to debut during convention season for fans and collectors to enjoy and showcase, because I guess DC must have gotten wind of how big pins are in the last decade or so. Pins is big business. But this expansion builds on DC's history with pins, but plays on the all-in branding for new appeal. Excuse me. Apparently the person writing this article is asking for pins or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's a thing that is coming, and yeah, doesn't, I guess around San Diego time will reflect when that's going to happen, I assume. Next up, though,
in news that will make Roddykat happy,
I was.
JLA Avengers is coming back to comic shops this summer, 2026. Marvel and DC are reprinting the legendary Kurt Busiek and George Perez crossover in facsimile editions, complete with classic covers and new variants. So the return of the series Actually, no. JLA Avengers #1 are in the May 2026 solicitations for Marvel. Um, so the way they're doing the publication is that Marvel will publish issues #1 in May and #3 in July, while DC will release issue #2 in June and issue #4 in August. Each installment will also feature new variant covers. Wow. You know what? You want to hear something?
What's that?
This was originally published in 2003. 2003.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
I am yes, I am very glad that they're going to do this because after that last reprint for the Hero Initiative, and they almost basically made the claim that they were hinting around that they weren't going to do that anymore again after that, but also there were still kind of hints of the possibility of them reprinting these issues again. So I'm glad that finally worked out with all this other stuff they're doing. And we kind of wondered when they said they were starting back up doing the crossover thing again, whether this was going to be the case. So
Right.
Again, happy, very happy, because I do have a copy of these, and I don't think they're in the because I looked when I saw this to see if these were in the omnibus.
No.
Yeah, and they are not. So actually, that was the only other thing that I could have wanted. Like if they just had put this in like a little hardcover, that would be great. And I suspect that's a possibility. If they're putting out these facsimile issues, the possibility of a trade coming for this is also there. So it's either I'm going to get these facsimile issues, or try to hold out to see if they're going to do a trade of this. That's a gamble, folks.
Right. I mean, I've got the original copies. I've got the original trade paperback in the slipcase cover.
Not bragging or anything, but
of course not. Of course not. And very happy to have that. I've got all that stuff signed by George Perez too before he passed. So, I'll be picking up these facsimile issues. I'm gonna have to put them in my pull list. Just for fun. I may have to wait and see what the variant covers look like. Because since I already own the originals with the George Perez covers, I wonder if it might be worth it for me just to go a little different and get the variant cover. Get a particular variant cover.
Yeah, it makes sense because I suspect there's probably going to be some.
Oh no, there are. It's just a matter of how good they are and who they're by. So
right. So yeah, we'll see. We shall see.
Yep.
But I'm debating because I probably will when I go to the shop this weekend. I will probably go ahead and put in my order for these. So next up, though, Marvel celebrates the 50th anniversary of What If with new alternate universe stories. So this is going to happen summer of 2026. According to this article, and no surprise to me, there's no particular unifying theme this time around because they have done this thing in the past. These What If books sticks to the classic formula, with each exploring realities where iconic Marvel storylines played out differently. For example, according to this article, one of these issues is titled What If Cyclops Had Stayed with Madeline Pryor, revealing a world where Cyclops has never left his wife and child to reunite with Jean Grey after she came back. So, and this article kind of goes into a little bit of that. But other intriguing titles of this line will be What If Thor got Spider-Man's symbiote suit? What If Cassandra Nova killed Charles Xavier? Let's see. What If the Ultimate Universe survived the Secret Wars? What If the radioactive spider bit Jessica Jones? There's a few more in here that we don't necessarily have to talk about. But there's if you're watching the video version, you can see the titles right there. If you don't, hey, you'll just have to go to the show notes. Yeah. And of course, there's the poster for the anniversary right there with the characters all lined up in a question. So yeah, that's the thing. Let me see. Is there an exact date, or is it just says summer? Oh, here we go. The new What If line kicks off with the release of What If: The Uncanny X-Men #1 on June 3rd and continues through August. So there you go. Next up.
Philip Kennedy Johnson speaks about Infernal Hulk and why Banner finally walked away. So, Act 2 of this saga transforms Hulk from isolated monster into a mythic threat. Okay. I haven't been able to keep up with this. I may end up reading this probably when it's all over in a trade.
Or you may want to catch up because Hulk War Infernal Rage is coming.
Oh no.
In 2027, so you got some time. The publisher confirmed that Johnson and Klein's sprawling Infernal Hulk epic will likely conclude in 2027 with Hulk War signaling a massive escalation for a run that has steadily transformed the Jade Giant into something far older and far more terrorizing than ever before, according to this article. Marvel's dropped a cryptic new teaser, so therein lies that. There was a recent AIPT interview that apparently hasn't run yet, that is, I'm sure, about to run, because this is a plug for themselves. And yeah, we don't know that much on details according to this article, but therein lies that. Next up.
Alrighty, next up. Wiccan and Hulkling's family to face the raid of Ultron. Marvel Comics has revealed this year's Marvel Voices special for Pride Month is titled Wiccan and Hulkling Raid of Ultron, featuring stories from LGBTQ+ creators like Wyatt Kennedy, Josh Trujillo, Luciano Vecchio, Zoe Tunnell, and Rachel Stott. The book will see Wiccan, Hulkling, and their extended family face off against their very own black sheep, Ultron.
Not the rap group.
Okay. That's funny. Let's see. I need info. Raid of Ultron will be released on May 27th with a number of Pride Month variant covers that will be revealed at a later date. In the meantime, Wiccan's Road, that's fine. Wiccan's Road is still going on, and issue 5 comes out as its conclusion on April 29th.
So, I guess a little bit of spoiler that I did not mention when I talked about Sorcerer Supreme number 3. Let's just say that that seems to be tying in to this, and that'll give you a hint to who showed up in that book, and quite possibly what is leading up to this, because now that whole scenario makes a whole lot more sense from when I read that. So there you go. Next up is The Queen in Black #1 details signal Cosmic War this summer with the blind bags. What is it with the blind bags? Anyway, this summer, Queen in Black, which is a 5-issue event series from Al Ewing and artist Iban Coelho, wraps across the Marvel Universe. We've kind of talked about this last week where we didn't have this particular bit of information with this book anyway. So this is coming out of the Venom run and the recently launched Null Limited series. And we already talked about last week about how them two are going to square up soon in an event. To mark the launch, Queen in Black #1 will arrive in Marvel's new True Believers blind bags. According to this article, after strong response to Ultimate Endgame #1 and Daredevil #1, the program returns with a twist. Every Queen in Black #1 blind bag contains an exclusive variant cover, unavailable through regular ordering. The standard main cover and open to order variants will not appear in these sealed editions, raising the stakes for collectors, and some bags will even include ultra rare hand-drawn sketch covers by surprise contributors. if you are watching the video version, you can see said variant cover contributors. It's some folks that you know, and I'm not going to read all these names, but hey, it's folks and suspect to do some good cover art. So there you go. But yeah, Ryan Stegman's doing the main cover though, and they talk about some other stuff in here. Next up.
What my origin boxes?
Yes.
All right. See new origin box characters: Hostilicus and Wonder Man from Reborn Ultimate Impact. Revealed last week at Comics Pro, Marvel Comics has officially revealed 2 new characters that will appear in Reborn Ultimate Impact. The upcoming miniseries, written by Chris Condon with art by Stefano Caselli, will feature brand new heroes empowered by the origin boxes that were taken from the Ultimate Universe. The characters include a new Wonder Man, Y, complete with red shades, and Hostilicus, the scourge of the negative zone. Add in the fact that Hostilicus has a Nihilus's head as a shoulder pad. Okay, I'm not reading that particular editorial opinion. Let's see. Oh, I see why they're making a new Wonder Man, because of the MCUification.
Mm-hmm. Which, as we said when we were talking about Wonder Man, we were surprised that they hadn't done that. And guess what? We just hadn't seen this yet.
It was coming eventually. It's on sale May 20th.
Yeah, but yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Next up, though, you should probably be taking this one, honestly. But Jay and Silent Bob crashed the Marvel Universe this June. I'm in 1995. Mallrats, comic nerd Brody Bruce took time out of his quest to get his girlfriend back to get love advice from Stan Lee himself, according to this article, which if you've watched that movie, you know that that's the case. Now, over 30 years later, his stoner buddies Jay and Silent Bob are crashing the Marvel Universe. Marvel announced Jay and Silent Bob, Jays of Future Past, a one-shot that sees the star duo of View Askew Universe cross over with Doctor Doom, the X-Men, and more Marvel mainstays, written by, of course, Kevin Smith, and illustrated by Giuseppe Camicola. Quote, I'm assuming this is from Kevin Smith, from the moment in Mallrats when they made the very first reference to Wolverine in the cinema history, Snick, Bub, all that kind of whatever. I can't remember the exact quote, but yeah. Anyway, I've always wanted Jay and Silent Bob to meet their Marvel heroes in a comic book crossover, so much that I pitched it to Stan the Man himself the day he shot his cameo in the movie way back in 1995, Smith says. 30 years later, Jays of Future Past represents both a love letter to the magic and mayhem of Marvel, as well as the giggle-inducing proof that our childhood dreams can still come true even at age 55. And this goes on to be very glowing, make a very glowing comment about Kevin Smith, which part of which is actually true. You can see the cover right there if you're watching the video version. And yeah, I'm sure we will be talking about it. I was about to reach over and pull out my copy of Mallrats, but my old dusty hands just don't want to do it, Stop before that actually happens for real. Next up, though, we get into a little bit of Toy Corner.
Oh, I just closed the article. 1 second. Hasbro Marvel Legends series Gamerverse Punisher Nick Fury 2-pack has been marked down on Amazon down to $55.20. I'm mildly tempted. I'm not a big fan of the blue tinged Punisher. The Nick Fury is actually kind of a curiosity to me in that getup.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And again, this won't be the last bit of Gamerverse leaning news that we'll be talking about as we will get to in a few minutes, in a minute or two. Next up, though, and actually last time, and when I checked earlier, that price still stands. So there you go. The Mayfex Venom 2099 and Negative Zone Spider-Man figures have been announced from Mediacom. If you're watching the video version, you can see said figures. Let's see. This is the pre-orders for these 6-inch scale figures should go live soon. The Venom 2099 figure includes 3 interchangeable portraits, 3 swap out lower jaws with extended tongues, interchangeable hands, and swap out weapons. The Negative Zone Spider-Man figure features a black and white costume as opposed to the white and black one of the Future Foundation. That's me editorializing. Interchangeable hands, 2 swap out portraits, and web effects. These figures are due for release in December, and of course you can check out the photos in this article. Don't care for either one of these, but hey, if you do, ding. Next up.
Yeah, I can confirm that Punisher Nick Fury set is still the same.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a permanent, it's a temporary thing where they're selling it at a specific price. In a surprise announcement this week, Insomniac Games revealed the release date for Marvel's Wolverine. It's coming on September 15th, 2026. I forgot how much the pre-sale was. I got mine. I clicked mine already.
Wait, did you?
No, it's not a pre-sale. It's just a wish list, I think, right? You just add it as a wish list.
I don't think it's it's just out there for wish list at this point. So
yeah,
it's probably going to be 60 or 70 rather, as standard editions tend to be, and I'm sure there's going to be a deluxe version and whatnot that we will see as we get closer to time. But yeah, but wait, folks. Here's even personally better news. As Von Gloom tried to show me, even though I had already seen this part already. Marvel Maximum Collection finally brings X-Men Arcade to consoles, and that's just the start. So this was announced yesterday, actually, where Marvel Games finally got off of their behinds and put together a bunch of those old arcade games. So we got X-Men the arcade game, Spider-Man X-Men Arcade's Revenge, Captain America and the Avengers, Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage, which was previously mentioned, Venom Spider-Man Separation Anxiety, and the Silver Surfer, which I'm going to assume is probably not the NES version. Because I don't remember there being an arcade version of the Silver Surfer game. I thought, for some strange reason, I thought the Punisher game was a part of this, but these are the Konami games, and that's a Capcom game, and that is already out on the Capcom Arcade Collection, so therein lies that. So this is coming from Limited Run Games, who is teaming up with Konami and Carbon Engine for the collection. Release date hasn't been announced yet, but is expected to arrive this year on consoles and PC. So this would probably be one that I might consider, especially since it's coming from Limited Run Games, and they do, I don't want to say bespoke, but they do physical releases for stuff. I might actually get this as a physical release. So
I'm looking forward to having these games because I loved playing X-Men the arcade game. I loved playing Captain America and the Avengers, and the rest of them are just gravy for me.
Yeah, basically, I have. If you have been around a while, you have seen me play 1 or 2 of these games live on the streams.
Yeah. The rest of them are just gravy for me because if I can get my hands on X-Men the arcade game and Cap and the Avengers, my goodness, man, I spent a lot of money on those 2 games.
I remember, yes. As a matter of fact, I think I played that particular game probably 6 months ago, possibly something around that amount, just for giggles. It was a fun time. But yes, I'm glad to see. I don't know if I'm hoping Limited Run's going to do a little bit more of a treatment on them and not just slap them together and put them, just put them out. But if they do that, that's fine. But sometimes they do throw a little bit of extras in here, here and there for stuff like this. So that'd be cool one way or the other. And I'm glad to see this come out as well. Like I said, yeah, X-Men and that Captain Avengers game definitely got some play. Actually, that Spider-Man the Spider-Man one also. But yeah, just like I said, it'll be a total of 13 Marvel games in the collection, including those that were mentioned. So we don't know yet what else is going to be, but I have a fairly decent idea of what some of them might end up being. Sweet. Next up, though.
Oh no,
Yes.
I got it.
Okay.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Dragon Pearl of Destruction gameplay trailer. So the game will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Pre-orders and digital launch will begin on April 28th, 2026. You can watch this video.
Yes,
Get a gameplay trailer.
Yeah, shout out to one Von Gloom who did point me to this one earlier today, because I had not seen this one as of yet, but I would have probably seen it. Well, actually, I would have seen it a few minutes after he had told me. The music that they put in this video, which I should, well, let me see if it'll. That's enough of that. But yes, the music there is trying to be evocative.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more so of another thing. And also, this is also coming from Limited Run. So, wait, is it coming from Limited Run? I saw Limited Run.
It is.
Okay.
Their credits are in the trailer.
Yeah, I just saw. Well, yeah, I just saw their banner there. So I was like, I didn't see that part. But okay, stop. But yeah, so that's good. I'm glad. Like I said, Limited Run is a good service, and I'm glad they're doing some of this. But yeah, and actually, it's probably good that you got that one, because I can get this next one that I'm sure you wouldn't have wanted to take. In the fact that Magic the Gathering Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set is upon us very, very soon. In fact, pre-release is, as we are recording on the 26th, the 27th, it's going to be on the 27th. Which means that you can run to a card shop, get in on the pre-release, and probably potentially buy the cards, which are officially coming out on March 6th. But card shops will sell you a box if you just go in there and ask. I can guarantee you that for certain. So, but if you want to take a look at all of the cards that are going to be in the set, you can check a look at this article if you haven't already, and there have been people out there doing set reviews for this stuff in the last couple of days. So. Yeah, like I said, you can go support your local card shop, game shop for this, or you can go to Amazon if you want to pre-order this stuff. But support your local game shop. But there's also, like I said, other retailers that you can get the stuff off. There's some good cards in this set. I will definitely be getting a box of this, but I need to also do something with the cards that I already have, so that's gonna be crazy. But next up,
Cross the Tracks with Hasbro's new Transformers Astro Train figure. Hasbro unveils a new Studio Series Astro Train figure inspired by Transformers the movie. Astro Train transforms between robot train and space shuttle with intricate conversion steps. Includes movie-accurate accessories like blasters, blast effects, and attachable smoke for train mode. Pre-order now for $59.99 ahead of its anticipated summer 2026 release for Transformers collectors.
Said this before and I've said it again. I'm very upset because I actually had Astro Train figure when I was growing up, and now I do not have it, and now I'm debating about getting this.
Okay.
Because
Chugga choo choo, man.
Yeah. If I recall correctly, I don't recall the original figure coming with smoke. So I guess that if there is anything, and also this figure does look slightly different than the old figure does. So I guess that's something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the old one did not have that smoke effect.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain, and some of the details that are on both the train and the shuttle mode also were not there as well on the old figures. So a justifiable reason for some to get this. So yeah, we'll see. Next up, though, G.I. Joe Classified Series Night Creeper Dire Tech has been revealed. So yeah, Night Creeper joins the G.I. Joe Classified series as a new Walmart exclusive. Diatech harnesses psionic energy, converting mental focus into powerful, sinister weapons, according to this article. Excuse me, good lord. I guess I'm all choked up about Night Creeper. But let's see. The figure features an alternate Cthulhu-inspired head, knives, crossbow, backpack, and projection blades. Pre-order open at Walmart Collectors Con in March with the June 2026 release, and price set at $27.99. If you're interested in what that figure looks like, because you're like, who the hell and what is this? If you're watching the video version, you can see said figure. And the back of the box right there. So probably not for me, but if you're that diehard enough of a G.I. Joe collector, hey, have at it. Next up.
Now, if you're really talking about diehard G.I. Joe collectors, check this out. Hasbro reveals a new G.I. Joe Classified series set. Professor Rotclaw and Cobra Deinonychus for 2026. Professor Rotclaw leads Cobra's new Paleo Viper unit commanding genetically engineered raptor squads.
What the?
The set includes articulated armored raptor, whip, helmet, pistol, and dino armor accessories for collectors, priced at $51.99. Professor Rotclaw and Deinonychus set releases July 2026. Pre-orders coming soon.
What the?
Yeah, this must have been G.I. Joe in the wake of Jurassic Park. Had to have been.
Yeah, or something like Renegades or some dumb shit like that, or some. Who even knows? Yeah, because I have no idea. I was hoping Von Gloom was probably still in the chat to see maybe he might have known about this. Because this is lost on me. Probably for a good reason. Because this, you know what, we can safely say that G.I. Joe and Transformers both got kind of stupid at a certain time, at a certain point. G.I. Joe more so in cases. From what I understand, kind of bonkers according to the what's going on in Real American Hero, the comic book as of this point. So yeah. Next up, though, Cryptozoic announces new editions of Attack on Titan deck building game. I guess that's season 1. So yes, it is. It's up for pre-order. This is a new edition of the original game that was released in 2016. In the game, players take on the Titans with Eren, Mikasa, Armin, and other members of the Scout Regiment. They will recruit allies, collect equipment, and use different maneuvers to defend the walls of the city. The game runs on the Cerberus engine for deck building games, which utilizes hero movements as a part of the gameplay. The game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 15 and up, and plays in 60 minutes or probably less if you're that type of person, and will retail for $54.99. So there you go. Next up,
Voltron Legendary Defender RPG heads to retail. So this was one of two games that were kickstarted back in December 2024. So there were two separate Voltron RPGs, one for the Defender of the Universe series, which is the one nearest and dearest, and one for the Legendary Defender series, which is the more recent version that was on Netflix. Both of these games run on the Dice Core system, and characters created with either book are compatible with the other. The Voltron Legendary Defender RPG core rulebook that's going to go on sale in the second half of 2026 contains plot, hooks, and character information specific to the Legendary Defender universe. It will retail for $39.99.
I wonder if the Defender of the Universe one is still out. Or, well, this is a Kickstarter, so I assume they're putting this one out first, and then that one's coming later, maybe?
You'd hope.
So, I don't know. But either way, hey, there you go. Check it out if you are interested. Last but not least, Marvel Comics, this is variant cover news, so just to realize that. Marvel Comics says farewell to Ultimate Universe with 24 variant covers. So in April, just before the release of Ultimate Endgame number 5, the storyline that closes out the current Ultimate era, Marvel will roll out 24 Ultimate Farewell variant covers to mark the occasion. These variants will appear across select mainline Marvel titles and highlight standout heroes and key moments from all 5 Ultimate series. The artwork comes from a mix of creators who helped shape the line, including Pete Momoko and David Messina, as well as other prominent Marvel artists offering their own interpretations of this reimagined universe. So 14 of the Ultimate Farewell variant covers have been revealed so far. Fans can pre-order them now through their local comic shops. If you're watching the video version, you can see said covers. So yeah, they have the Ultimate Farewell banner on the side. We still get teased with the Peter and Mary Jane right off the bat. You know, and so some other folks and other things here. So yeah, so some decent looking covers. Yeah, again, starts in April. In fact, the first couple, which will be Venom 256 and X-Men 28, will coming on April 1st. We'll have the first couple of variant covers by Duali and Pete Momoko. So there you go. And that's it, folks, for the news. Can we get one last ad read?
All righty, our last ad read of the night is for getting my story. All right, keep our podcast free by shopping at Amazon. Visit cspn.us and click the Keep Our Podcast Free link at the top of the page. From there, scroll down and click on the Amazon link to shop. Purchase items from Amazon as you normally would, whether it's books, music, electronics, jewelry, apparel, or Marvel Legends. For every purchase made on Amazon through our link, Amazon sends the CSPN a payment that helps us keep the Comic Book Chronicles podcast free for our listeners at no extra cost to you. Amazon.com through CSPN.us. Do it today.
All right, folks, that is it for this week's show. Like I said, we'll be back next week. I think that mall show comes out by next week, and if not that, then wait, does the monster the monster show on Apple TV, does that come out next week also?
I think that came out like yesterday or something like that. So yeah, or comes out today actually. I think it comes out today. So
27th. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. What's
yes,
Monarch?
Yes, Monarch. Yes. And I think that Darth Maul show might also be coming out, if not today or by next week. I can't remember, but I'll look into that. Either way, one way or another, we will be talking about a show next week for certain. But also whatever else may come by then. That I don't know what just happened there, but So as we round out this February, aka Black History Month, just remember this, folks. While we only have the shortest month of the year for Black History is every year, every month, every day, etc., etc., etc. You know, don't ever forget, and not just Black History, but also, you know, world history, because, you know, folks want to make you believe that only certain folks have made history, and they have, just in the worst possible way. That, and continue to, sadly, in the worst possible way, and currently. But I have been Roddykat. You can find me at Roddykat on Twitter. You can find me at News Nerds Need on Twitter, and Blue Sky on the Twitter and Instagram and all of that. 8_70 on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads. You can find the Marvel Maximum collection being played on Twitch.tv at some point, but we'll get into that in a second. But you can also find this here podcast on the Cold Slither Podcast Network. That's CSPN.us.
Do it today.
You You can also find us on your podcast perusal place of choice, whether it be Google Play, Apple iTunes, aka Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the Cold Slither Podcast Network SoundCloud page. But you can also find us recording every Thursday night, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, aka closer to 10 o'clock, on twitch.tv/Comic Book Chronicles and youtube.com/TheKliqNation.
Make sure to click like, subscribe, leave us all the positive 5-star reviews. Let us know if you really want us to start a little closer to 9:30 so we can actually get to bed.
I feel like we should need them for that one, but yeah, sure.
And leave us all the 5-star reviews. Hit that, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, please and thank you.
Indeed. All right, folks, that's it. We will be back next week, and hope everyone has a good weekend and a good rest of your February. This has been the Comic Book Chronicles. Peace.
Peace. One.
Wakanda forever!
Good evening, Rick. Would you believe it's Dr. Doom?
What's on your evil mind?